I wasn't your average elementary school kid. I struggled to cope with my autism spectrum disorder. I couldn't work in groups because sudden change made me upset. If something didn't go my way, or a classmate didn't make something the way I wanted it, I would have a meltdown. Same thing happened anytime I got really frustrated with my schoolwork. On top of that, I was very socially anxious, terrible at reading social cues. I had interests very different from my peers. People avoided me because they didn't understand my behaviors. I didn't even understand my behaviors. Eventually, I learned to cope with things and stopped acting out in frustration. Nevertheless, it left a big scar on my social confidence. I became pretty introverted, was anxious around people I didn't know, and only really talked to a few close friends. This was before I found my fandom. Fandom is defined in the dictionary as the state or condition of being a fan of someone or something. Also, the fans of a certain fictional series, sports team, etc., regarded collectively as a worldwide community. It is also often used informally as a term for a popular franchise, as in the Star Wars fandom or the DC Comics fandom. Fandom is more than just a mere, I saw the movie, or it was all right, it's not one of my favorite things. It is your committed passion. Stop for 1 second and think about something you are passionate about. Your fandom as that one thing you truly love, and that love is very hard to contain, so you end up reading the book or watching the movie or the sports game all over again to find all there is to know. You also keep up with the latest news about your fandom. Being a fan of anything can give you a better chance of hitting it off with people quicker. Fandom helps people to find common ground and get to know each other faster. There's a good chance that you will find some kind of parallel with these like-minded people. You may find it unbelievable, but I truly believe that fandom changed the dynamics of my social life. Let me explain. When I was 11 years old, my mom gave me her copy of the first Harry Potter book and told me to read it. I quickly fell in love with the book, and my love for it developed into a passion. This passion was my new fandom. Then, when I'd meet new people, I'd ask them if they liked Harry Potter, and when they said yes, an instant connection was made. Exchanges weren't limited to somewhat meaningless topics such as how life was or contemplating the weather. We would have meaningful conversations because we didn't have to find a connection, we already had one. I felt instantly connected to a community through fandom. Fandom creates strong social bonds as people share their passion and joy. But fandom also creates a place where people can deal with life's challenges and support one another. The connection you already had because of fandom created a place where you could share both good times and bad times. Fandom is a way to make sense of the human experience, to find your place to help another human being. A safe place to be comforted and a place to give comfort. It's safe because the connection is already there. So in a time of crisis, you have a community that already exists. We saw this with the Humboldt Broncos junior hockey team tragedy. It happened in Saskatchewan about a month ago. The team bus was driving to a game and had a serious accident that killed 15 players. At first, the reaction of the entire hockey community was shock and despair. As time passed, however, this turned into outpourings of support from GoFundMe pages, which raised money for the families of the victims, to a Jersey Day held across the country, to a memorial service in my local hockey arena. The fandom created a bond that wasn't just about cheering at games and sharing scores. It created a community that took action and came together to support one another in a time of crisis. Fandom was a safe place for people to share and make sense of their grief. And this support wasn't just hollow words, it was through action, support, and events. And I started to wonder, maybe fandom isn't just about being interested in a sports team or Harry Potter. Maybe fandom connects us to each other in a more meaningful way. People who might live far away don't they're not strangers anymore, but become more like people who live next door. They become your tribe, your clan, the group of people who you belong with. Fandom is a starting point, but doesn't stop there. Fandom creates a community of people who share a common interest and who feel connected to one another. From this connection, anything becomes possible. As human beings, we are hardwired to connect and find a place to belong. Becoming a fan of Harry Potter is how I first connected and found my place to belong. At the start, I thought fandom was just a way for me, Hannah, to connect to other people, just me and the other Harry Potter fans. But now, I realize that fandom can be a way for the world to connect. Find a passion, study it, love it. Become a fan of anything. You may just find common ground with someone who you never thought was compatible. Soon, you will find yourself in a huge community of people who support you, share with you, trust you, and will listen to you. Thank you.